So welcome back to the one and only Decoy Court, where we're covering more r/am I the antagonist, with today's featured post being, am I the a-hole for telling my stepsister that she can't model my clothing because she's obese? So the OP writes, I'm currently in design class in college, and for one of our projects, we had to create a clothing line made of sustainable materials. Since I love sewing and thrift flipping, I was super excited about this. I made all the clothes based off my own size, so there isn't a lot of size variation. Last week, I asked two of my friends who are close to my size if they could model, and I think my stepsister may have overheard because later that day, she asked me if she could model too. I wasn't expecting this question, so I stumbled and initially told her that I already have enough models. She didn't take this as an answer and asked if I could just let her wear one piece since she loved how they all looked. Recently, she's really been into modeling and photography, so I get why she was so adamant. I insisted I had enough models and that I couldn't let her, which really upset her. She ended up going to her dad crying about it, and he brought the three of us together for conflict resolvement time. He was on her side and asked if I could just let her do one piece. I was getting pissed at this point, but I continued to say no. I know her weight is a sensitive issue for her and her dad. He called me selfish and my stepsister nodded in agreement. This was my breaking point, and I said, I've been saying no this whole time because I do not want to hurt your feelings. You guys want to know the real reason? I don't think she'll be able to fit in any of the clothes I created. She's obese and I designed the clothes to fit my body type. I'm sorry. Well, cue the waterworks. Her father just shook his head at me in disappointment and said I didn't need to stoop that low. All of us are now pissed. Am I the antagonist? So taking this case over to Decoy Court, because on this channel you gotta get my knee-jerk reaction before we read those top-end controversial comments, and with this particular post right now, it's a situation where OP tried to let down the stepsister easy, and it's hard to say what their relationship is like before this. Are they, pretty well getting along and good friends, or are they just kind of like there's a lot of tension inside the room whenever they see each other? And the simple fact that OP wasn't clear from the get-go, like this isn't about having enough models, this is about me trying to exclude you because I don't want you around. Don't wear my clothes or something like that. And then the stepsister just doesn't know why she's not being included. For her to go to the father would make the stepfather to make her feel pressured into letting her use the clothes. That's where the stepsister could probably be the antagonist. But did OP deserve to go, or should have OP gone that far as saying, hey, look, you don't fit my clothes, I'm sorry, I guess she was kind of nice about this entire thing, and they were even talking about earlier saying how I don't want to hurt her feelings, so that could be kind of a plus. So I guess in Decoy Court, it would be a situation where it's like, yeah, she wouldn't be the antagonist because she tried to be the nice way, tried to give her an easy way out, and just tried to avoid the conflict, and then the stepsister kept on pressing her for it. But with the Decoy Court, we also need to show the decoy defense, like what's going on in this particular story that would make OP the antagonist. What's the inverse of the Decoy Court? How do we give them their fair shake? And maybe the stepsister and OP are literally like one size off of each other or the same size, and OP just knows that stepsister is doing everything she possibly can to lose weight, and her entire mood board on Pinterest, that's a public thing, is just how to lose weight, how to shed that water weight, and how to contour your face a very particular way, and she's very sensitive about it, and OP knows that this is going to be the most hilarious thing if not only she says I have all these cool clothes that she would look good into and it's a fashion that she would like, but also when she wants to wear them, we all put it on, and I make it just because her hips are a little bit wider so she can't fit them, or maybe her frame is a little bit longer than hers, or there's some particular way that's just there to disinclude the stepsister because she hates her. She hates her for her dad marrying her mom, or I don't even know how that scenario will work out, but I'm just saying that in the event that OP was just doing this out of spite, some sort of revenge for something that occurred a little while ago, like, yes, your father beat my father in a street race, and then that's why the mother broke up with him and then ended up with there. Now they're not over in New York City where she can be going to Parsons Design School. She's over in Mobile, Alabama, and she's going to some other school where they're doing, what is this? This is reclaimed sustainable materials, and she doesn't even know what this school is about, and she can kiss her chances goodbye. You're going over to Italy to become a fashion designer under Louis Vuitton. Like that all burst away when stepsister's dad beat her dad in a street race. next to the Cement River. I don't know. I'm getting away from it, but I mean, I'm just saying that if this was an instance where she did it just to disinclude the sister, yes, OP would be the antagonist. But now that we've considered the Decoy Court and the Decoy defense, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the idea that they're not the antagonist. This wasn't a malicious thing OP did. She tried to give her an easy out of it and say, hey, look, maybe this isn't for you, and then she only defended herself when she was backed up against the wall in the corner. So it does make sense that they wouldn't want to hurt their feelings. So as always, before we get to those top comments and the controversial comments, we are going to take a brief recess in Decoy Court, and I'm going to ask for your opinion right now. Like, what would be the instance where they would be the antagonist or not the antagonist? And make sure you drop a comment down below. And also, during that break, make sure you subscribe down below by turning on the notifications and joining that Decoy Koi pond, because we have more fun on this channel as opposed to those robot readers or those anonymous channels that don't even show you their face. So let's go ahead and see that top comment right now, which is not the antagonist, and the people giving you hate are out of their minds. You made clothes for a project that you knew almost certainly without a doubt wouldn't fit your stepsister, and then tried to spare her feelings by giving a valid reason as to why you didn't need her to model them. She left you without any other choice. And I'm a bit of a fat guy myself, and I probably would have deduced that you were trying to spare my feelings after such insistence that it wouldn't work. I also think that you had a valid concern for whatever items you made may get stretched or damaged, and you making the design would make you uniquely qualified to assess that risk, not the antagonist so hard. And I do see that, where does OP need to design an entire other dress that's going to fit the dimensions of someone that's not her, that she's not used to hemming, just to spare her stepsister's feelings? Or can she just work on schoolwork and try to get the project done as quickly as possible with no inconvenience to her? I don't think that she would be the antagonist. So the next top reply was, OP's stepsister, say it. Stepsister's father, say it. You know you want to. OP says it. And then shock Pikachu faces.jpg, not the antagonist. And it is true, they really did corner OP into a situation where it was a lose-lose scenario. No matter what, they had to fess up to the fact that it's not that OP's being the bad guy, it's the fact that, hey, we're different body shapes, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just she doesn't want to double her workload by trying to figure out how to make a dress specific to the stepsister's dimensions, because we don't want to hurt her feelings. And it was almost one of those things where the father, like, you know, is shaking his head in disappointment saying, how come you couldn't take the short end of the stick? How come you couldn't go way out of your way to help out your stepsister's feelings, because he doesn't want to do the heavy lifting with the parenting? And I didn't mean that in a mean analogy way. I'm just saying, like, you know, they're making OP go out of their way because they don't want to talk to her with a serious conversation. So that's the prosecution of the top comments. Maybe we'll see some defense over in the controversial comments, which is the top controversial comment is, I don't understand why you didn't say from the very beginning, I'm sorry, the clothes won't fit you. They're too small. You didn't have to say it, she was obese, for crying out loud. My college roommate was size 8, hardly fat, but if there were a bunch of size 2 clothes hanging around, she wouldn't be able to wear them. My 20-year-old nephew can't wear my 16-year-old brother's clothes, he's too tall. You made a much bigger deal about this than you needed to be. Next time, don't be so wish-washy. Everyone sucks here. And here's the thing, is like they're trying to say, hey, talk down to your stepsister as if she doesn't understand subtle clues as to what's going on in the world. Subtle clues that they say, this is almost self-defeating, this argument saying, hey, they know that if they're size 8, they're not going to be able to fit size 2. So wouldn't OP saying, hey, look, I already got models, don't worry about it, I got it taken care of, wouldn't that be a subtle clue saying, hey, you can't fit this, I'm not doing this for you? Why do they just have to shove it in her face right from the get-go? Because I can almost guarantee the simple fact that the waterworks were queued, she was crying about the idea that she couldn't wear the outfits, that no matter when she heard that was the reason she couldn't wear the clothing, it was going to cause her much emotional distress and pain, because she can't be a part of, OP's little clique of fashion model shoots or whatever it is. So I mean, I don't want to say that OP can be put to blame, because that's not her fault. But the next top controversial comment is saying, I'm going with the unpopular you're the antagonist, because there are so many ways you could have been honest without being a jerk. I use my measurements for the clothing design, so I need models with similar proportions. The clothing size is X, so need models that same size. The measurements are X, so need the models with those measurements. And if true, I'd like to use you as a model. I'll grab your measurements so I can design something in your size for a future project. And they got upvotes, but it's still controversial. A reply that was negative 28 points saying, finally, I can't believe it took this much scrolling to get a you're the antagonist. I'm with you on that opinion. And then they said, the reply to that was, it took that much scrolling down because it's an unpopular and dumb opinion. No one is unaware of their weight, and as a fellow fat person, I would never push that hard for explanation when I very well know it could be weight related. Either the stepsister or father is blatantly ignorant of how clothing works, or they are morons who wanted to force OP to admit it was because of her weight. And either way, they're not deserving of subtlety around the issue either after insulting OP. So I do back that sentiment up where don't start, none won't be none. If they're starting to say like, what is it? You know, what is it, OP? And she finally admits why it is in kind of a gentle way. She can't be held to blame for that. And also the fact that they're saying that, oh yeah, how come no one would say that? How come no one would say that OP is like, oh, I'll use you as a model, I'll grab your measurements, and like really coddling this person as if they owe them anything in particular. Just there are different measurements. She doesn't need to cater her design life around the stepsister in her dimensions or whatever that may be. And also the idea that they say, oh, you're being a jerk about it. Well, you know, why do they need to spell it down to her and coddle her, like, you know, speaking to her like she was an infant? It's like, hey buddy, just so you know, it's like, you know, there's different sizes and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's like, hey, how about you just cut to the chase and be like, this is the reason, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Oh, don't bother me, I'm working on this. They don't gotta be best friends, they're stepsisters, they'll be cordial, they'll be nice. And it seems that OP was being very polite to them, but only when she got pushed into a corner did she decide, hey, look, no, none of that, I'm not doing this. So that's my personal opinion under the situation of just, it's not her responsibility to fix the stepsister's body image issues. She can work on that herself, she can get more comfortable in her skin, but every single time that she heard something that is going to make her feel like she's being disincluded from something just because of something that she probably can't have any control over, that can't be on OP's fault. That's got to be something else that's going to happen internally with her getting self-confidence and everything of that sort. So I mean, that's kind of my thoughts about it. If you had took the time in the brief Decoy Court recess to give me your thoughts, and then reading these top and controversial comments, you've changed your mind, make sure you let me know down there below. You don't got to edit your old comment. You can post a new comment, because I do like seeing people that are willing to admit that, hey, sometimes we're wrong. In the knee-jerk reaction, we learn something and change our reply. I'm willing to change my reply too, and my judgment of not the antagonist, if you guys can give me something in the comment section that would make me think, hey, maybe my knee-jerk reaction was wrong, maybe the Decoy Court is just a farce and I need to cancel the entire channel. Make sure you let me know below. But as always, thanks for checking out the channel. Subscribe down below and share it with somebody if you think they'll enjoy it. But if nothing else, go ahead and put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise and Decoy Court coming up next.